The only heart that's not dissected, and the reason for it is so you can see the external anatomy. What I have here is the probe is going through the inferior vena cava and out the superior vena cava. So you're looking at the right auricle, part of the right atrium. The atrium is very shriveled, and a lot of these hearts, and that's why, you know, when people say, oh, I want to dissect my own heart, you know, good luck with that. It's easy if it was a fresh heart that's not preserved, a big one, like let's say a beef heart, you know, that you could get or a pork heart, if you could get one from the butcher shop. Those are always nice because they're flimsy, they're not preserved. They work really well. But sheep hearts, they preserve them and they're all scrunched and they keep that form, so it's very hard to see them. So that's going through the two vena cavas. On the anterior side of the heart, you can clearly see the pulmonary trunk, very anteriorly located. The arch of the aorta you're looking at right here. See this? Here's the ascending aorta. Here you're looking at the arch right here. So if I just take this probe, and that's why I leave the probe in there. So if I use that to pull this down, you can see the arch. In fact, here is, anyone know what this is? You know what this one is? What do you think that is? Well, no, it's coming off. It's the first thing to come off the aorta. Well, besides coronary arteries. First thing to come off the aorta, what do you think it is? Remember, the arch goes to the left. What's going to the right? It's not subclavian. What comes off the right? No, I'm on the arterial side. What does the right common carotid and right subclavian come off of? What does it come off of?
Pulmonary vein?
No, but
oh my dear God, no.
No, because it's the artery.
Come on, this is the arch. Arch goes to the left. So what has to go to the right? Come on, I told you this many times in class. Got to review this stuff. What splits into the right common carotid and right subclavian?
The butt. No.
You were close.
Nice.
Begins with a B. What's the name for the arm? Brachial what? Cephalic head. Right upper extremity, you know, right arm, right head. Brachiocephalic trunk. That's this, guys. Brachiocephalic trunk, right off the arch. Then it arches over, and then it gives off common carotid and subclavian. Now those were broken right off of this. This is the continuation of the arch. So the left common carotid and subclavian, they're obliterated because that was all taken off of there. Left auricle, right ventricle, left ventricle, and this is the anterior interventricular vessels. Very hard to dissect these things. So once you've got something dissected, it's a lot nicer. And here, look. What side? Left. Why?
It's thicker.
It's really thick. All right? So here's the bicuspid valve right here. You can see the anterior and posterior papillary muscles and their chordae tendineae. So papillary muscles are there, and these are the chordae tendineae that are attached to the valve cusps. Okay? And of course, this is all inside the left atrium, and this rough textured wall in the left atrium, what is that called? No, don't say sinus anything. Pectinate. Because the right side is the only side that has sinus venerum. Okay? So that's left side of the heart. Now we turn it over and look at the right side of the heart. Now the septomarginal trabeculae was broken on this. It was right here. This is the moderator band. It ripped off the heart. And these are Purkinje fibers. that you're looking at. Those are Purkinje fibers. Now on the hearts over there, it shows an intact moderator band, but look at that. Take the insulation off the wiring, and there it is, Purkinje fibers. Look at that, how it behaves like a nerve, even though that's specialized cardiac muscle tissue. Very interesting. And this is all tricuspid valve. So that means this is all sinus venerum in here. And if that's sinus venerum. Now, I don't know, it's really hard to tell on this, but my take on it, oh, it's broke. Finally broke. Damn. I like those Purkinje fibers. I would have loved to have been able to show that further, but oh well. So here we have, this is probably the fossa ovalis, but if I'm going to tag that, I'll use a picture. It's too hard to tag that in there. But this is sinus venerum, the smooth wall of the right atrium, and then of course you've got your pectinate, and where the pectinate end, that may have been cut off of here, so we're not going to see, I doubt we're going to see the cristae terminalis. You'll see it on one of the other hearts over there, and then the superior and inferior vena cava. Superior vena cava is right here.
Can you see the conus arteriosus?
Yeah, you actually can. So, once again, superior and inferior vena cava, right there. Really shriveled, very tough. Okay, well, yeah, so if this is pulmonary trunk right here, this thing is pulmonary trunk, then that means that this conical space right here is conus arteriosus. That's what that is. So this right here, leading out to the trunk, that's conus arteriosus. Okay?
For the coronary arteries, do we need to do it on there, or you
No.
can show a picture?
No,
Okay.
picture only. There's no way I can dissect those out on here. They're just too hard. You know, one year I was able to get a cow heart from a butcher, an intact one, a really good one. I could always look and see if that Cermak Fresh Market sometimes sells that stuff. And if I can get an intact one where they didn't slice it all up because it's food, okay? If I can get a nice intact one, it's really cool because then you can just take the probe and slip it right into the coronary arteries from right above the aortic cusps, the aortic semilunar valve cusps. It's really neat. But I have to get a fresh heart for that, and a big one.
Is that a human heart?
No, these are the same size. If you remember from when we were in the NIU, they're roughly the same size. Pig heart's a little bit closer in size to us. But a beef heart would fill up this whole pan.
Dang.
Oh yeah, I had one time. It was really cool. It was like this big. It was huge. And we had it beating. No, I'm just kidding. We didn't have it beating.
That'd be cool.
That would be actually. Like that.
Lub
Anyway.
dub. That was one of the fill in the blanks on the
Yeah.
book. It was just like lub dub. I was like,
Yep.
lub dub.
Now, a whale's heart, you could crawl inside of a chamber if you wanted to. Yeah.
That sounds
It's
like
big
a
enough you
fun-
could get inside of it.
So is it like bigger than this table?
Oh my God.
Crawling.
A whale's heart would be